Howdy, howdy, howdy. What's going on, everyone? How are we doing today? Let me get my audio all set up here. Turn that guy down a little bit. Turn that down. So welcome to another Rokoko Office Hours. I'm Sam Lazarus, Creative Director for Rokoko. And if this is your first Office Hours, this is just a time when we're here, we're live. You can come in and ask questions. Usually we record some free mocap and then do something creative, and fun in the background. And today we're going to be doing some Cinema 4D Ragdoll kind of hacks that I've come up with that we'll make into a tutorial at some point. But for now, we're just going to get into it. Hey, Atelier. What's going on? Let me know if my audio is okay. Hey, yeehaw. It's not free, although you can download our software for free and get a 30-day free trial for the face capture mocap app. We also have a motion library that's like Mixamo. So that we have a bunch of free mocap assets that you can download, but this is a mocap creation suite. Kana, what's going on? Good to see you. It's been a little while for me. So let me plug in, but I'm wearing a Rokoko Smart Suit Pro 2, and that is it's our main mocap hardware. And then I'm also wearing smart gloves. So, yep, green. And we should see me start moving around the scene. The other thing I just got to mention is, we just wrapped up our Perfect Loop contest, and it was awesome. And we had so many amazing submissions. And just if you submitted and you're seeing this, well done. Killed it. So many incredible ones. And we could only show so many on the judging streams. But there were a ton of really great ones. Oops, something dropped. Okay, so let's just replug in and we'll just get started making some mocap. So I don't have, normally we just take free requests. So yeehaw, if you have a request, you want to get some mocap made, put it in the chat. We'll do it. Let's get it done. Otherwise, we're going to record some kind of car scene idols and things like that. Totally. Atelier, that's what this is for. Let's do it. What are you working on? What are you looking for? Usually I'm limited by the office that I'm in, and kind of I only have so much space, so I can't do crazy running around and stuff. But let's do it. Yeehaw, how hard is Rokoko to learn? Oh man, this is, it's great. It's super easy to learn. It's really idiot proof. That's what we kind of pride ourselves on. And I say that as like an idiot. I think we're all idiots in CG a little bit. So it's plug and play essentially. It's really easy to get set up. I was actually a customer before I started working for Rokoko. So I bought my first suit from them as a consumer, and it was a very easy process, which is why I liked it, and I ended up working for them. But yeah, you can see this is, suit up in action, and we have facial mocap solutions too, and it's a lot of fun. And man, it's so much better than keyframe animating because Alberto. Okay, Atelier, there we go. We got some mocap to make. But yeah, you can, so the question is, can you import a 3D character and visualize it in real time? You can in Unreal or Unity. You can't in our software currently, although in our beta software you will be able to bring in like a Mixamo character into here and then see it all retargeted in real time. But you can do that in Unreal, you can do that in Blender, you can do it in Cinema actually, Cinema 4D. It's super fun. Kana is a VTuber who does it live. Yes, people can struggle with the initial getting up and running, I think, with mocap in general. But also, we are working on our onboarding. That's something I've been working on. So we are aware that the onboarding, as Kana said, is it's pretty rough. Yes, and we have a massive update coming to Rokoko Studio Beta next week, which I'm very excited for. And I'm working on some tutorials for all the new things. Elevation tracking. It's It's pretty great. It's first iteration. It'll keep getting better, but pretty nuts. Never been able to do that sort of stuff before. That's why I got all these little... I've been climbing on these stools and things, testing it out for the last week. And it's looking great, so it's going to be really fun. I'm not sure if we have a student discount. The best thing to do, Yeehaw, is to reach out and you can book a free demo. If you go to Rokoko.com, you can just book a free demo and someone will walk you through everything. You can talk about your workflow and they'll make sure that Rokoko is a good fit because it's, you know, it's a cheap mocap suit as they go, but it's still a lot of money and we want to make sure that the suit makes sense for you as well. So book a free demo. It's awesome. And there might be a student discount. I don't think that there is currently, but sometimes we have them maybe. Okay. So, Kana, before we get started, Atelier, I'll just answer this. I use an Asus. I mean, I can only recommend... Is it an Asus? Yeah. I think it's an Asus AX3000. That's, I mean, a lot of them will work. This is the one that I use, so that's the only one I feel comfortable, like, personally recommending. It's dual band. I do recommend, no matter what you get a dual band router, because sometimes you want 2.4. Ideally, you want 5 gigahertz, but sometimes you want 2.4 because you're in an area where 5 is bouncing around. So get a dual band, and that's the model that I use. It's probably a little overkill, but I love it, so that's what I would recommend. Okay, let's do this Atelier. Okay, so first, scared walking. Girl alone on the road, and some gangster and hero comes. Okay, wait. Some gangster comes, and a hero comes to save the girl. Facial mocap. Yeah. Let's try it. Hold on a second. Okay, let's do some facial mocap, might as well. So how... Sorry, I'm off screen. Yeah. Yeah, you got it, Atelier. Let's do it. Might as well. Okay, now I gotta get my janky facial mocap helmet out. Caesar, Turin, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah. Okay. Okay, my super advanced facial motion capture setup. Let's get it initialized here. Yeah, there is, Yeehaw. If you download Rokoko Studio, which you can find on our website, you can download this software for free. And it comes with a sample pack of animations. And then we also have free mocap that you can find on the motion library, which, you know, again, from this free software, Rokoko Studio, you click on this ML, and this is our motion capture marketplace. You just sort by price. We have a bunch of free ones, but these are less of a good example of the Rokoko mocap workflow. For that, you just want to go download the free Rokoko Studio Legacy, not beta, Rokoko Studio Legacy. And it has a sample project, and you can export it and do whatever you want to play around with it. Check out your whole workflow, which we'll be adding to beta shortly as well. Okay. So let's get this thing on. British Miguel, what's going on? Good to see ya. Oh. Okay, I gotta turn this guy on. Cinema 4D, nice. Why are we not funding this? You should fund this. Yeah, my main workflow is Cinema and Maya as well, so we're right on the same page there. Okay, so our facial mocap uses an iPhone 10 or higher. You can get them for relatively cheap now. Oof. I don't know if my iPhone is charged. We might not be able to do facial mocap because I wasn't really planning on it. Ooh, I don't think it is. It's not. Okay, so no facial mocap. I'll charge that up in the meantime, and if we get a little charge by the end of recording some other mocap. Sorry, Atelier. Do you want me to try to record some without the facial mocap? Or do you want to try and wait? We could do the other one. Let's do the other ones first. Let's do the other ones first, and if there's enough charge on the old iPhone after a little bit. Good hair. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so I'm just going to record. So what we're going to do later, unless anyone has any other mocap that they want me to get to, which is, let's do it. Put it in the comments, and we'll make some other mocap. Make anything. You know, we're just making free mocap. We give it out. There's a link in the description below for all the mocap we've made so far, which is about almost 300 assets of free mocap we made on these streams, which you can use for whatever. Okay, but today in Cinema later, we're going to. So Cinema 4D and Ragdolls are not really friends. There's a couple weird ways to do it, and I have a good hack that I like. The minimum income of a Cinema 4D user. Oof, I don't know. I have no idea. It's probably a good Google. But yeah, Cinema 4D, I've got a couple hacks for creating Ragdolls. So I think what we'll do is just basically do some idles, and then do some like, oh, a car is coming. And then we'll just make a car crash scene where it will knock our character, and we'll switch dynamically from the mocap into the ragdoll, which it's a hack, but it's fun, and it means you don't need to go into Houdini or Unreal or something, and it's just quick and dirty, and it's kind of fun. So I'm going to just do I'm just going to do an idle of like checking my watch, and then I'm going to do a car coming and crashing. We'll do like 2 of those. So always do a calibration pose, which is just one straight pose. And let's do it. Okay, just a little quick idle. I'm just gonna do another one right off the bat. Ooh, and then we could do one where like I'm jumping up. I'm like, kind of stretching, and then I jump up, and then the car comes and nails my legs. Ooh, that's good. I like that. I'm going to do another calibration pose. I tend to do them a lot because it just doesn't hurt. And it, over time there's magnetic interference that means the gloves, or that your mocap will start to drift a little bit. So I calibrate a lot. You don't really have to, but I do. Okay, let's try this one. So that would be the point at which we would get the car coming in. And so I'm just going to go in and show briefly how what a difference cleaning can make of your mocap. So you can see these jumps don't look good. We always recommend you've got to clean your mocap in Rokoko Studio. It is absolutely key. And it's really easy to do. You just go and you manipulate these little keyframes. jump, land. Okay, so this goes like here, here, jump, 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 land over here. Jump, land. And so you move these keyframes around, and these keyframes denote foot contact with the ground. So the software essentially here is saying, oh look, this right foot, and we can visualize the foot contact. It's saying, oh, that right foot is touching the ground. But we know that it's not touching the ground, it's in the air. So we can get rid of this keyframe, this bar here, right? Because this is all foot off the ground. Now if we hit process changes, woo, it's a proper jump. Look, this guy looks like, that looks correct. And there's a couple other filters that we can use and stuff, foot IK, drift fix. So these are all designed to kind of help fix some of the inherent problems with inertial motion capture, which is motion capture is done via sensor and not via camera. Knack montages, what's up, man? Oh man, the robot battle I loved so much. Yeah, it's dope. There's some really amazing ones. There is keyframe work in the cleanup too, Alberto. That's good to say. Don't hesitate, calibrate, and you know, yeah, there's always cleanup in Mocap too. That's just something that you end up learning once you start working with Mocap, no matter where you are, because you know what system you're using with Vicon and what they use in Marvel. You know, it's tons of cleanup, and XNs there's less cleanup, but you'll always have a cleanup process. So it's always a value prop, right? Okay, anyway, so let's do one more getting hit by a car, and then I'm gonna check my iPhone. Ooh, it's start up. Will you start iPhone? You don't want to? Maybe we'll go into cinema and we'll come back and we'll do some more Mocap at the end. Okay, let's calibrate, and then let's do another hit. That's like a funny little scene. Let's throw in another idle because it never hurts. Then we'll do a driving one, and then let's cruise it to cinema. Unless anyone else has any mocap that they want made, again, put it in the comments and we will make it right now live. And we clean it up, and then it's available for download usually by Friday or Monday for free, and you can do whatever you want with it. So Atelier, sorry that I haven't been able to get my facial mocap going. Okay, I'm just gonna do some of those for you just in case we don't get back to the facial mocap, Atelier. The meme where the guy goes, oh, let me in, the Andre, right? Isn't that his name? Epic Andre or whatever. Yeah, where does he go? He goes like... Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let me in meme. Okay, it's his right hand. He's got a microphone. Okay, let's do it. Calibrate. How'd that look? Ooh, iPhone came on. Hold on. 3% battery. So this is a sort of thing where you'd have to definitely do editing, right, on this hand. You'd probably delete all the animation on the arm, and then maybe you use an IK chain to attach it to the fence. Capoeira moves? That's just cruel. That's the classic Mixamo you gotta go for. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Anyone else got any other memes? Oh, a fight scene. Okay. Yeah, I can do a fight scene. Let's try and do a little fight scene back and forth. Okay. So how about this? And it's tough to do with one person. Eventually, in Rokoko, in Studio Beta, you'll be able to act against recordings. That you'll record something and then you can put that recording in the scene and you could act against it. But for us, let's have the fight scene be so the attacker comes up, jab, roundhouse, and so this person is and then boom, hits him. And I think it would time up okay. We'll see. You probably have to do some manual retiming, but let's try it. A little fight sequence. I'm curious to see if we can do a little. That'd be fun. Okay, so that's one. Let's try two. This is why you need a beanie. Your hair goes everywhere. Alexandra, can you do an animation where you stand still, look at your hand, see electricity shooting out of it, and then concentrate and fly? Hell yeah. So what happens when I'm looking at, is the electricity shooting into the ground? Or is it, am I conjuring it, you know? Oh, how does this look too? Nice. I want to try and do this. Let's kill this. But yeah, so something like this. So stand still, look. Okay, so it's and then you keyframe me up, right? Look at electricity power and then fly away. Easy. Okay, let's do one of those. It shoots in. How did that look, Alexandra? Let me know. Oh, you know what I could do? Let me do that again and give it a bigger. I'll fly up into the air, right? Let's try it one more time. Do another Cal. And in the meantime, Atelier, could you describe what that scene is a little bit more? So there's a girl and she's alone on a road and she's scared. She's and then a gangster comes out and like threatens her, and then a hero saves her. Does someone just like come in and punch the gangster, or how does that work? Oh, the knife sequence. Oh, and oh god, it's so cool. Yeah, that knife sequence in Winter Soldier where he drops. He's like, so awesome. I'm not even gonna attempt to do that. But yeah, let me do another one of these electro ones. Oh, you never realize how old you are until you're jumping around in a mocap suit. Oh, that's so sick. Have a big old, I just want to punch people today, Alberto, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. And then big shockwave. And then you can just keyframe the hell out of that up. Let's see. How much we got? 8% charge. That should be enough, right? Let's do these. Okay, but Atelier, let me know what that scene is. I think you probably don't want facial mocap, to be honest, but let's record it. Girl scared walking. Okay. Girl on a road. Some gangster comes and the hero saves her. Is the hero saving her with a... Bad guys come out in front of her, breathing heavily, okay. And then, is she saved by a gun, or is she saved by like a bat? Or how is she saved? No beanie today, Agent Kane. I'm letting it fly free. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Let's get set up here. Okay, so we're using my, again, highly evolved mocap helmet here, which you can't get a mocap helmet for less than like $1,200 for some reason for iPhones. Very frustrating. So this is what I've done, and it works just as well, you know? It just doesn't matter. But let's do the girl. This is going to be like a 30 to 45 second sequence. This isn't counterbalanced. This might be a little bit rough, but we'll try it. Okay. Oof. Wild Sam today. That's right. Okay. Let's do it. And the nice thing about this is that you can actually start and stop your recordings from the iPhone, and you can do calibration, so that's kind of nice. Okay, I'm going to move the mic out of the way here, and let's try it. Okay. Here's the girl. Okay. I don't know. How was that? Natalia, is that kind of what you're thinking? help, help. Okay, cool. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's do, we're gonna do 2 gangsters. Let's do 2 gangsters. So the first gangster is gonna be like does the gangster have a knife? Or the gangster has a knife? Okay, gangster's gonna have a knife. Let's. He goes on air. Okay, I think I get it. Let's try this. Calibrate. Okay, I don't know. He gets hit, and then gangster number 2 swings a bat, and then, I don't know. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So that's another one. Let's do it again. So this is the gangster standing over on this side. Okay, it's take it or leave it, maybe. Cop car. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna do all that. Charlie, we might call it in a second, because that's a lot. I'm just gonna do the hero, and then the cop car stuff you can get on Motion Library. We'll do next time, maybe. So now I'm gonna do the hero. Oh, pretty good, I think. Oof. Oh. Such a great actor. Yeah, but there we go. Didn't really do the reach down right, but I wanted something in my hand. Cool. We'll clean this up and get this good to go. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done. Luke. Nice. What's going on? Luke in the chat. Luke Crescente is one of our awesome Rokokoians, I think we named it. Isn't that what we call ourselves? Rokokokians. Yeah, I think it's the Cinema 4D Ragdolls. That's what people want to see probably. So let's get to that. And we can always, you can, I think there's a link in the description below that you can submit mocap requests. So if you didn't make it this week, either join next week or you can put in a request. I believe it's in the description below. If it isn't, I'll add it afterwards. Or join the Rokoko Discord. And yeah, we do this every Thursday and record mocap. And now let's do some Cinema 4D Ragdolls. So I'm going to take off my suit. So I usually turn off the camera for that, but I'll leave on the suit while I take it off so you can kind of see what happens, which is always kind of amusing. Yeah. Grab our gloves, take our gloves off. Boom. Enter the girl from the ring. That's a pretty good look. I kind of want to record some of that. Let's record it. Pretty amusing. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, suit off, pants on, and we will, let's just play back one of these recordings while we get set up. And cool. Let's do it. Ooh, and you know what I can do? Give me that. I need that little image mask. Boop. I like being in the little circle. Okay, so let's do it. We're going into Cinema 4D. We're going to do some Ragdolls tips and tricks. What's up, Pip? Good to see you. And let's do it. So, okay, so first thing we need to do is we're going to use one of these idols to have for our character who's going to get hit, right? So I kind of like this. This one's kind of funny. They're like in the middle of a road, and then they kind of up, and they get hit by a car. The other one that could be good, we could just keep it a little bit more simple. Let's just keep it simple for this, but all of these could be used, right? For this process. And again, we're going to distribute all of these. I think we're going to do this one. Cedric, no worries. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. You know, I'm sure we'll do more. So there's always going to be more contests because we had such great submissions this time. It was awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this up really quick, make sure this is looking good. First thing I usually do is click this gizmo button. It shows me my foot contact with the ground. And I just want to make sure that all my foot contacts look good. You could see that right here. See these feet drifting? So we can get rid of that by turning on foot IK, which we did. And we'll hit process changes. There we go. No more feet sliding. They're sticking. And that looks good. This looks fine. Boom. Okay, so now let's export this out. And let's rename this first. Actually, we're going to call this car crash victim 01. We'll export this. We're doing FBX. We don't need the body mesh. My human IK skeleton. We'll hit export. Today's will be free mocap 15. 14. Oh, I never made it up. Gotta get 14 up too. Oof. It's been a long 2 weeks. We'll get that up later today. Okay, so we got our mocap, and now we're gonna retarget it onto our character. So I do this in Maya. You can do it in Cinema 4D, but I find the best workflow is in Maya. So that's what I do. Oh, it's hot in here. I'm actually gonna take off my beanie. You know, you can retarget in any software. We could, because this is a Cinema 4D thing. Now, I'm just going to retarget it like I normally do, and then if you wanted to retarget in Cinema 4D, you could do that. But the important thing is just to have an animated character, right? Yeah, and the backdrop was AI generated. I've been playing around a lot with that stuff. It's awesome. This was Night Cafe. But the Mid-Journey stuff is crazy. Okay, so we're going to use this robot. Let's go open up our robot that we're going to use. This guy who we've used for a bunch of things before. Boom. He's already rigged up and ready to go. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to use this guy. Oh, but he has a ton of these too. Does it matter? I don't think it does. Okay, never mind. We'll see what we can do with this. I think it should be fine. But we'll see. Anyway, it's easy enough to get our mocap onto this guy. We're just gonna go import our mocap, free mocap 15. Again, this will all be downloadable. Make a new character definition, select my character's hips, load in my HIK preset. If this is moving too fast and you want to know what I'm doing, we have tons of tutorials on our channel that go over this in a much more straightforward way. But there we go. We got our mocap on our robot. Looking pretty good. And boom. Get slammed. So we're just going to bake this to a control rig. And then we'll be able to do a couple quick edits. Oh, Atelier, totally. Yeah, Mid-Journey's fun. Yeah, Atelier, we will definitely be having future competitions with mocap prize suits. And I think Clint is having a competition with a mocap suit as a prize, maybe at some point in the future too. So there's a lot. We do a couple of things. Vicon is $1,600. I don't think so. Vicon's usually like $40,000. Our suit and gloves is $3,500, which is very competitive, which is very affordable in the mocap suit field. No, not leaked. He's always doing contests. I think we've talked to him about doing one in the future. So more general. But he's always doing contests. Oh my God, Cedric, I'm so sorry to hear that. The minimum hardware, Danny Chavez, I don't know. I mean, certainly what I recommend at this point is a GTX 2080 or higher, 3080, 3090. This desktop I'm in is using a GeForce RTX 2080 with 64 gigs of RAM, I think. It's basically Tweak, what's going on? Oh, so good. Robbed, yeah. This is rough. It was brutal judging those things. They were all so good. Okay, so anyway, I got my character baked here. I'm just going to, one thing I like to do in general is with Rokoko and Mocap sometimes, you're leaning a little bit too far back. So if I go and I make an animation layer here out of this chest, I can just, let me just move this guy forward, right, a little bit. And then the other thing that I like to do is I like to just move the arms up because you can see that we have some clipping going on. So if I just change these arms right here, add to a new animation layer, rotate him up, S, create a keyframe, add to a new animation layer, rotate up, S. So now, ooh, that robot's looking it's a little too beefy. Okay, we gotta go back and bring that back down a little bit, S, and then S. Cool. I think that works. Did you not tweak? I thought you were in there. Maybe there's another tweak. I thought you did make one of the top 50s. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just saw it on the thing. Okay, anyway, so we're now ready to go. So I'm going to export this out, and we're actually going to do this. Let's set this up. So go to export all. We're going to send it to our raw folder. And car crash victim. Export. Let's open up Cinema. Let's do it. So I mean, so basically this workflow, it's very simple and it's very hacky. It just, all it does is you're using the mesh cage modifier to create a very low poly human shape and then use that as a soft body and have your character kind of follow that low poly human shape. So I don't need to keep that. Let's bring in our fella, our boy here, our robot boy, car crash victim. Comes in like that. Yes. Oh, right. So this is how you do it. Okay. I remember now. Yep. Okay. So we're going to throw him in a big null and call him robot. Then we're going to increase him so he's the right size. Make this 500 frames. Let's call it 700 frames. Let's just make sure that he's got the right texture. Convert, remove, project asset manager, relink assets, kind of the things that I end up doing a lot. Creative assets, models, AMAC interceptor, boom. Hey. AMAC interceptor. Replace asset with, which one was this? Base color. Replace asset with the normal. And replace asset with the roughness. Boom. Got our fella. Nice. I'm going to get rid of my Octane port because I don't need it right now. So here we have our mocap, and I'm going to turn off joints. So I just have my guy here, right? So here's basically the way that this trick works. What we're going to do is when we want the car to hit, boom. Boom. Right here. We're going to say this is where the car is hitting. Let's just call that right now. Frame, actually we're going to do frame 450. Keep it together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and I'm basically going to create a copy of this guy. And you can do that by, I think, right-clicking and just going to current state to object. And so now all of these, which is the second one? Okay, so the bottom one is the right one. We're going to 450. So the bottom one is the new one. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically get rid of the skeleton because we don't need that. And then I'm going to select children. And I'm going to connect objects and delete. So now I've got a single mesh here. A single unmoving mesh. I don't know why it did that. L, but let's move this down. And let's just make sure that he's in the right spot. It doesn't even need to be perfect because basically what we're going to do between frames is we are going to hide one of them and make the soft body one appear. And that one we're going to be messing with. So let's set that up right now. For both of these, I'm going to go to add a compositing in compositing. And this is R23, so I'm not sure if you have the same things in R26, if that's what you're in, but there should be. So just compositing tags. No, not composite. What? Oh God, no. What are they? They're in render display tags, and I'm going to turn on visibility, and at 459, the robot that has the animation on it is going to keyframe it at 100. Then at 450, keyframe it at 0. And for the non-moving robot, we're going to key it at 100 and 450. And at 449, we're going to key it to 0. So now what you should see is that this robot should stop moving at 450, right? Which is when, boom. And I don't know why is the texture changing? It doesn't really matter for the purposes of this. I am curious, so let's check. So 450. No. So in the render, it doesn't change. It just is a viewport thing. Okay, so now we've got, a scene set up where this robot is getting ready to get hit by a car. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this robot that is unmoving, and we're going to go to 450. And we are going to build a very low poly soft body, essentially. So I'm just going to do this with cubes. And make this cube editable by pressing C or pressing this Make Editable button up here. And now I'm just going to do and if you know me, you know I'm very dirty when it comes to these actually things that should be done properly. But I don't, this is just the way that I do it. I like to do little hacks and stuff, and so that's what we're doing. So I'm basically just gonna build a little cube body, and maybe we'll twist it like this. And this doesn't need to be super exact. So what I'm going to do is, if you go to the what is this, polygon display, then you can, if I hit MT, I can start extruding some faces. Right? And we're just gonna extrude a couple of faces. And again, you'll see why this doesn't really need to be that exact. MT, or no, M, and now we want to add a, we actually want to add an edge line. Where is it? I think it's, is it edge cut? Plane cut, J. Nope. What is this again? So M, close polygon pen, E. M-E, boom, boom, create two two polygons there, and then create an extra layer there. Didn't need to do that. And then here we go, we're doing the legs. And so again, this is really rough and tumble. This is really dirty CG, but that I think can be really useful. And you'll see how powerful this is, because I mean, what we're trying to avoid is going into like Houdini, right? I just want to be able to do this in cinema. I want to be able to do it quickly and relatively quickly, and especially if I don't want to learn any new programs, this is it can be a good way to do it. So I'm just going to do this, do that, and then do that, right? So there we go. We got one leg. Let's go and do the other leg. MT. Boom, boom. And then we'll just move it into, place. MT. Do another one. And we're just trying to roughly kind of copy what we got here for our robot. MT. MT. Oop. So very dirty, and it won't matter, and you'll see why. Okay, so now I'm just gonna quickly keep going. So now we need to we'll get this one. Kind of in place here. MT. Do another one, so now we can do the arms. Boom. Boom. And you can see how rough and tumble this is, but it just isn't going to matter. The goal is to just build a really low poly thing. I'm just gonna cover up the hand. See, that's it. That's our hand. That's our head. Move it forward a little bit maybe. And then we need to do this other arm. Oop. Super janky. Sorry for all the silence. It's going to get more interesting in one moment. That's fine, I think. We'll see. We'll see how this goes in a second. Almost done. Boom. And then MT. Boom. Okay. So, boom. We've got this very rough thing, right? So let's save this because that was a lot of work. C4D Ragdoll 01. So let's just add a plane. And let's drop it underneath our thing here. And let's just see what happens if we add, let's make our robot gone, and let's just add a soft body tag. I'm going to change the stiffness to 15. I'm going to add a collider tag to this ground, and look what we got. We have a little soft body, right? So we can do, let's say we had a car, for example, and we wanted to hit it, we could hit it. Boom. You know, that's what's so great about C4D very low poly sims, is they're pretty good at doing stuff like this. And so this gets very interesting, right? So now how do we make our character kind of follow this? That's the real question, right? So we're going to turn off, we're going to make sure our dynamics hit at exactly 449, at frame 449. So at frame 449, they're off, and at frame 450, they're on, right? So now, oops, that was for our plane. We don't want to do that. Delete track. Let's turn on our plane. For our cube, we want to go to 449, key it off, then key it on at 450. So now it's not until 450 that you'll get these dynamics kicking in, right? So now here's the last step, right? Let's turn our robots back on. And if we take our cube and we add, no, we take our robot and we add what's called a mesh. It's a mesh cage. And we put that, our robot, I think it's underneath our robot. we can designate an object that this robot will follow. It will try to follow. And so if we add our cube, let's call this robot low dynamic. Robot dynamic. We add robot dynamic to our mesh cage. We go to advanced and we make sure this is on surface. And we hit initialize. Look at how interesting this is gonna be. Oh, golly Kansas. What do we got here? We got a dynamic ragdoll in C4D that has been cheated to hell. But it doesn't matter, because we are looking for quick and dirty, baby. And that's all that matters. So we could, there's some shearing and stuff. The other thing that we can do is, like, let's go to this robot, turn this back on, right? And I'm going to turn off the mesh cage, and I'm going to turn off this compositing tag. So here's our robot. Are you not appearing? Robot, you don't want to appear? Let's delete this mesh. What the hell? Oh. No. Yeah. So we can, I have this plugin called Quad Remesher, and there's various other plugins. There's a remesher in Cinema. I just like this plugin because I saw, oh God, what's his name? He's this amazing C4D Patreon guy I follow. Motion Punk. He's amazing. I forget his real name, but he uses Quad Remesher. So let's remesh this. And so now we have kind of a more detailed mesh. So it's obviously not detailed enough because it's looking pretty weird. But let's try that again. Oop, not Megascans. Quad Remesher. Let's remesh this with like 250. Nope. So undo that. Let's remesh it with 1,000 polygons. Ooh, yeah, so this, how does this work? Is this gonna, oh, right, because I didn't, so let's add that soft body tag. So this is a much squishier, you know, soft body simulation. Which honestly, let's not do that right now. We're just gonna go with our standard fella. And oh, don't want to miss that soft body tag. That's how we'll do it. So let's re-add this mesh cage. Hold down Shift and it'll spawn it underneath our robot. Right? We gotta add a robot dynamic. Make sure the external is set under advanced, set to surface, initialize. Now what's happening? So I'm just gonna undo all the way back and we had it working. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's just leave it like that. And if anything, we can just add a little bit of pressure to this soft body. And make the Flexion 5. Make the Flexion default. Okay, so but here we go. This is how we do it. And if you want to see just some ways that we can start having some fun here, let's set up a dynamic object, a car-sized dynamic object, maybe. Yo. And we're just going to start throwing this thing at our robot. And so if we add a rigid body to this guy, and we set some custom initial velocity as it's going on the x-axis, so x, let's call this 500. Not enough, let's call this 1,000. Boom. And we are going to trigger this at a certain point. So here we got our 2 keyframes to trigger it. Boom! Look at this. So this, you know, this is, and you know, we could let's switch this up so that this is kind of like the way that I'm imagining this shot. Let's change the mass of this. To like 0.5. Let's change it to 5. Let's change it to 15. I mean, and what we would probably do realistically is we would actually just create a collision thing, and then we would just keyframe the car to come through, right? And there you go. Any number of ways that you could use this now, and it's pretty cool. Checking the chat for the first time. Hello, Ragvendra. Anyone here use Turbo Squid? You know, Alberto, that's how I do it. It's a dirty job. That's how I do my CG. It's dirty. Cinema, he wants to learn Total Cinema 4D course. Yeah, I would say to start watching YouTube, because there's really no shortcuts you can take with CG. It's always going to be a bit of a slog. There's a lot to learn. you know, you got to start with choosing what software you want to use. If you want to use Cinema 4D, then you start with Grayscale Gorilla Tutorials. You can get a free version of Cinema 4D that you can download right now and test on the computer you have. Yeah, but it's not gonna happen overnight. It's CG is a beast, you know. But there are lots of good courses out there for CG. Patreon is a great place to find interesting tutorials and stuff. YouTube. But yeah, there's it's a fun journey. So let's turn on Octane here. And there we go. So you can see he kind of has like a little compression. So maybe, you know, you want this cube to hit. Let's bring in a car now. Now it's time to bring in a car. So let's go grab a little Porsche or something. I think I have a good Porsche car. Oh, you know what? I have a rigged car that we could use. But let's not do that. Textured Porsche. Get rid of that. And you know, let's just do this like, again, quick and dirty. We're just gonna keyframe. There we go. And then if we make this Porsche collider object, there we go. So you can imagine, like, you know, this is, again, this is quick and dirty. This is a little hack, but I've tried to make ragdolls in Cinema before a lot, and it's tough. It's really annoying. It can be really frustrating because there's no really good system for it. But this is actually pretty good, I've found, and it allows you to get some interesting things, right? You could get... It's like you have to use it judiciously. But let's say we wanted to do 1080 by 1350. We want that tall. And let's slap a camera in here. Let's change the focal length to something a little bit more narrow, which is always kind of what you want to do. IMO. So we need a new plane that's just a little bit higher. You know what I mean? Oh God, creating a bunch of planes. Oops. And this is a non-dynamic plane, so this is just fakery. And what we could do even is just for this Porsche, let's have it come all the way through frame. Just gonna need to back this up. Going too fast. So at 450, 449, it should be kind of right about to hit. So I think that's moving a little bit too fast. So we go to 449, move these keyframes around a little bit. Boom. So let's go back to 0 and show what we got. So it kind of starts. Let's start it right here. That's 227. Call it 225. Boom. So where's this guy facing? Right here. One second. Pop, pop. Ooh. Yeah, so I mean, this is just like, you could also hand key this, honestly, probably. So, but this is good for lots of iterations, or maybe you're shooting something at them, or you're throwing boxes or something. Did Ian give a big thumbs up? That's awesome. Boom. There you go. You know, that's pretty much it. So, you know, we could like extend this out a bunch. We could add a little, let's add a little texture here. I got my Quixel textures. What do we got? What do we got? We need like a concrete, I think. Mossy stone floor. Let's use that. Let's use that. Let's get a normal. Let's get a spec. Oops. Let's get a roughness. Let's get a displacement layer. These all come with Quixel. Gotta up the resolution of my displacement layer. And if we tile this shit a lot, kind of thing. And then, you know, we just do a little of this goodness here. Looking pretty cool already. Oh, we got to turn on some path tracing. Silly Sam. 500. I think this needs to come down. It's a little hot. There we go. And then I always like to add a little backlight too. It's kind of hard to do sometimes. Yeah, because it adds this does add a nice little rim light though, but it's kind of too, this is always the problem. Now is the part where I just go silent as I'm playing with lights. Cool. Looks pretty good. You know what? We can move this. Wait a second. So this guy's definitely too bright. And then he gets hit. That's it. Let's bake this, bake our dynamic objects. Bake all. Whoop. So again, this is probably overkill. You know what? But actually now see what we can do is let's clear all those caches and let's start playing with that soft body, those values, right? So maybe if we turn the stiffness down to 5, let's try that. Make the structural 200, make the stiffness 10. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And now what we can also do is let's click on our camera, go to create motion camera, drag our octane tag onto it, click onto it. We're gonna add a little steady cam motion, right? And then we need to key up. Let's key these down a lot. And then right here, boom. Guess what? Key them all up. And then move our keyed down keyframe over there. So actually we gotta crank this up a lot more. On this motion, we got boom. We gotta up this. 150, 150, 150. Go crazy. And then we gotta move this back. There we go. Looking pretty good. Let's calculate this cache again just so we can watch it. And I think we'll be pretty good to go. Looks pretty great, I think. So that's it. I think we're gonna call it right around there. What time is it? How long? Yeah, pretty good. You know, that's one little hack for making some ragdolls in cinema, which again I find to be really useful. Boom. You know, we can actually what about more like this? Yeah, good little camera shake. Cool. Okay, well, I think we're going to call it there, but this was a lot of fun. Hopefully this was helpful. I think that this can be a very useful little hack. You know, this would be an interesting angle as well. Cool. Looking dope. No worries, Cedric. Hopefully you found this useful. I'm going to add another camera. I think I'll do 2 little renders from this. Let's make sure to always add a ton of depth of field. Because otherwise, what's the point? Gotta add your depth of field, everyone. Come on. Same thing for this guy. Jeez, he needs a lot of depth of field. Boom. And then you know what's going to happen as soon as you get hit, buddy? We're keyframing that depth of field back. Focal depth. Now what would be really good, I think, is probably to add headlights. So this kind of thing. Boom. Just want to see what this looks like. Let's save again. Oof. And then for this guy, you know what I like to do? So I throw a camera in a null, and then I move the pivot point of that null to my subject. I can get these really good, clean, perfect rotations. So my camera's in my null, and now if I just, you know, I can do this awesome, like, boom, keyframe, keyframe. Make your keyframes linear. Do not make them Bezier for camera moves because it just doesn't look good. I see it so much. And I'm just changing this up, of course, a little bit. And make it linear. Make those keyframes linear. So important. Oops. Cool. Cool. I think we're going to call it there, everyone. So this is a great, thanks for coming through for another Office Hours. This was awesome. Nick Shaheen, good to see you. Yeah, hopefully it's, I want to do a full-blown kind of a better tutorial that covers all of this, which hopefully we'll do soon. But yeah, we got big news coming for Rokoko Beta next week, as well as some new onboarding videos that are going to be coming out soon. And yeah, congratulations again to everyone who submitted for the Perfect Loop contest. It was awesome, and everyone did a great job regardless of whether they won or whatever. It was really, everything that was submitted was really impressive, so well done, everyone. Cool. Okay, well, I'm going to call it there. Thanks for joining. We'll have free mocap up from this time and last time, probably by tomorrow. And yeah, have a good weekend, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next Thursday, 11 a.m. PST. See you there.